Okay, so that's a good start. So, hi everyone. For this episode of Curiosity Cake, I'm talking to Margee Kerr, and we're talking about fear. So, Margee, I'll get her to tell you herself, is a sociologist of fear, and this is just a topic that I find really fascinating. So, Margee, can you just tell us a little bit about your work, about your book on fear, and how you got into studying that?
Sure. So I started studying how and why people like to engage with scary material about 10 or 11 years ago. And I always just thought it was really interesting that that anyone would choose to seek out, something that's, assumed to be so negative. Why would we want to engage with, negative, terrifying, scary material? And so I've just been studying that and trying to see what people get out of it, and the paradoxically the positive things that can come from doing scary things.
Yeah. So did you have an interest? Was it something you just came across, or did you yourself personally have an interest in scary things?
I did. I always grew up really loving haunted houses and Halloween and reading scary stories, and just kind of a bit of a thrill seeker. So there was that part of me that wondered, why do I like doing that type of thing?
Mhm.
But in my academic path, I was more focused on how fear is a negative in society.
Mhm.
Often underneath discrimination and hate, you find fear, and so I really wanted to try and understand fear from a comprehensive, holistic perspective, the good and the bad.
Mhm. Which sounds really fascinating. My first degree was in criminology, so we talked a lot about the fear of crime and
Yeah,
how that can be used in politics, and always a bit of a disconnect between the reality of crime and the fear of crime, like serial killers being a very kind of obvious one of like,
right.
see, that's a
Right.
very, very small amount of
Yes.
crime and very unlikely that people are going to experience it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so do you want that you actually have a book that you've written on this subject, as well as a book that's just come out recently as well?
Yeah. Yeah. My first book, Scream, Chilling Adventures in the Science of Fear. I talk about how fear varies by cultures. I went to Japan and South America, all over the US, doing a lot of different types of scary activities, the what I call fun scary, so things that people want to do, to really see what's out there, and talk about the science of fear too, what's happening in our body and our brain, and how we construct an experience of fear. And then my most recent book, which just published in the UK actually last week, with co-author Linda Rodriguez, is Ouch. Why pain hurts and why it doesn't have to. So that just came out. So that's looking also at pain from a more a sociological perspective that appreciates that these experiences are constructed from more than just any one thing. They're all about time and place and who you're with, and why you want to be there. So that just came out in the UK and will be out in the US in March.
Yeah, and hopefully that pain book, we can maybe do this again and talk about that one in not too distant
Sure.
future, 'cause that sounds really interesting as well.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned there kind of scary stories. Do you have like your favorite kind of scary stories?
Um, I think that, well, the most fearful I've felt is when I did the CN Tower Edge Walk in Toronto in Canada.
Mm.
There's an experience. You can go out on the edge of the CN Tower and walk around. You're attached by a harness, but there's no guardrail or anything. And I didn't. I think it was so scary in part because I didn't expect it to be. I'm not afraid of heights, and I knew, of course, logically that it was entirely safe. There's no chance that you could ever fall off. But it didn't matter. I was. It's just something instinctual kicks in, and you're just like, can't fly, I'm gonna die. And it was a phenomenal experience. I mean, it is one that I continue to look back to find strength and remind myself that I can endure, I can make it through scary times.
Yeah. So you mentioned Japan. I was on, oh, I'm not sure if on is the right word, but went to Skytree in Tokyo. Um, and that's really interesting. I think it's meant to be like the second highest building in the world or something like that.
Oh,
And you get an elevator that goes up, and you get to a kind of viewing gallery that's not right at the top. So you can get out there, have a look around, and then there's another one that goes up like right to the very top. So you have to pay a little bit more to get right to the top. So that was one that kind of sticks in my mind, because that elevator to get to the very top, hopefully I'm not spoiling this for people either. There's a point where, like, obviously you're in an elevator, you're in the middle of the building, you're going up, it's completely black. There's a point in that journey to the very top where the outer walls are like glass, so it looks like you've just exploded out
Oh,
of the
wow.
building. So literally everyone in the elevator at that point is like, ah.
Oh, wow. But
So
that's
that's
intense.
yeah, no, that one really stuck in my head, in my
Yeah.
mind as well. So brilliant. So people check out this episode coming up. Things gonna be a really fun one. Margee has done some really cool fun experiences to document this book and produce her work. So Margee, thanks very much.
Thank you.